This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Satyavani, and I'm here along with my partner, Prajna Madhavi, and we want to welcome you to the Trainerize app, our branded app. This app has two beautiful functions that we want to share with you to get your health moving in a woman warrior direction.
So the first component is the fitness workout side, which is fabulous. With this app, trainers can give you a personalized experience based on your fitness goals, our dosha assessment, and fitness level. The app has phenomenal access to videos for each exercise so that there is very little confusion. There's also messaging capabilities so that trainers can continually keep in contact with you as you move further into your fitness journey.
The second component is the nutrition piece, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. After the initial assessment is taken, trainers can align your doshic diet to your specific exercise regimen, which means that eating more of what you need and less of what you don't. The recipes are then posted in the app where you can choose meals based on time, ingredients, and taste. And you can always refresh the menu if needed because you prefer something different.
So with these two components, along with our Ayurvedic assessment, we'll give you a unique and individualized experience that you most likely cannot find anywhere else.
I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. By using our personalized app, you'll gain knowledge of what your body needs and be on the road to becoming your best and brightest self. Welcome to our app. Jai Bhagwan, Women Warriors, and welcome to the Women Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani, and today is my jacked and tan co-host here.
Prajna Madhavi.
Because that's what we're working towards this summer.
So always.
The summer is always about becoming as jacked and tan as possible. Uh-huh. We are so happy that you joined us today. And we are moving on from the mental emotional state, the Manamaya Kosha, in our next sequence of podcasts, and moving into the Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is often referred to as like the third eye and our state of intuition. So we're going to wrap around some concepts as it relates to intuitively eating today. We want to relate the intuition kosha to fitness, to recovery, to nutrition, all of these different concepts that we have been talking about that makes up a woman warrior, but always interweaving all of the koshas because they all kind of mix with one another in a really important way. So today we are going to talk about intuitive eating and how that can have a very positive effect when we actually slow down and pay attention to what our body is actually asking for. So we hope that you enjoy this. We're going to interweave some Ayurvedic concepts and also some fitness and practical concepts and have a good time. So, yeah. Oh my God. But before we get started, the fabulous Prajna we've got some announcements, right? What's going on?
We do. So the first announcement is we have our Spartan in Salt Lake City this weekend.
Look at your face.
So excited.
So exciting.
It's just my body hurts right now. The whole jacked and tan thing does not come without consequences.
Jack, tan, and sore.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So we have our first Spartan. It's going to be the Spartan Sprint.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woo! Excited.
So it's going to be Snow Basin, so it's out in Huntington, outside of Salt Lake City.
Is that technically Huntington?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, because what city does it say on the? It doesn't say Salt Lake. It says.
Is it Snow Basin, maybe?
Well, Snow Basin is
Ogden.
Ogden.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So technically Ogden.
Yeah.
Which is a cute little town.
It is a cute little town.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Salt Lake area,
come hang out
have
with
a burrito afterwards. So.
Exactly.
Come on out. So that's our big event. This is the sprint, and then we do the super in August, and then the beast in September.
It's a very long pause with the beast
on that.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
Second one, follow us, whether it be on Instagram, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Spotify, wherever you get our podcasts. Follow us on all of them. Even if you just listen to us on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, okay, on YouTube. We are currently, we have moved up in the ranks.
We have.
In our position here at SB Studios. And so thankful to all of you for subscribing on our YouTube page because that is helping us in the ranks. And we have a ways to go to get to first.
It's okay. We weren't that far at first. And then Sean told us that the group that has 400 subscribers now has over 1,000. So
it can happen.
right, it can. We
So
were
tell your
close.
friends. Tell your friends to subscribe, and it can happen. That's how fast it can happen. So
Yes.
get out there. Start
Subscribe.
And then we have Fit Body Boot Camp. We've done a couple weekends of hybrid camp.
Yes.
And that has been a super success.
And fun.
We've had a ton of people come out for those. We had 19 on the first day, the first Sunday 2 weeks ago. And then this last Sunday, we had 27.
I know.
Which was awesome. Full house.
It was great energy in the room.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Really good. I was like, do we have room for all these people?
Open up the doors.
Yeah. So it was great. And we started getting a little competition as to our coaching styles, which is kind of fun.
You were a total bitch and out of me. She's terrible.
You told me to.
No. What happened was, okay, let's correct this situation. Okay, first of all, it's a lack of respect. Okay. We created the format for it, and in between we were going to have an active rest. And I said, okay.
Active rest? Active recovery.
Active recovery. I'm
call
sorry.
that.
Active recovery. Pardon me.
No resting going on.
There wasn't really any resting. And I'm like, let's just make them do burpees. And she was just like, 8 stations of burpees. And I was like, okay, fine. And so she's like, let's do burpees for 2 and then we'll move it, forward. So nobody was the wiser. And then afterwards, she's like, wow, you want to know what Satyavani actually had planned? Like making me look like the biggest bitch in front of everybody. Puts it on video. And I was like, all right, it's on. It is on. I cannot wait until we start doing all these fancy leg movements that you've got going
You could
on.
have brought up the fact that I was going to, if they talked during class, I was going to make them do burpees.
You know what?
Should bring that up.
Oh, that's my next video.
It's fair game.
It is fair game. Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome.
So the video about how if they talk and if they don't act according to Prashna's rules of the game, Her Highness, then you get burpee whipped.
Yeah. Or run. Just go run.
Just go run.
Works all the time in coaching volleyball. So, no, just go run.
No, we're not talking.
They
Leave.
hang their head. Here we go. So anyway, Fit Body it's fun. It's tons of fun. So if you're in the area, again, you want to try it. We won't do it this weekend, but we will do it. Pick up the following weekend.
Yeah, 7/20.
Yep. And then we wanted to talk a little bit about the app. So
Yes.
Trainerize. So we have Trainerize versus Circle. So we have, when you go to our website, and we highly recommend taking the Constitution quiz.
Yes.
That is like number 1.
Step 1.
Take the Constitution quiz so that we know what your Constitution is. You know what your Constitution is. It really kind of opens our whole gateway as to what we do. Then you have some options. If you're more on the fitness nutrition side and you want to go that route, then we get you into the Trainerize app where we can, work through your workouts based on your Constitution. We work on your nutrition based on your Constitution. That is the more fitness side. If you want the other stuff, so who am I? Like you're the big picture of why do I do what I do? What is this Constitution thing? What are the doshas?
The education side.
That's going to be more the education side. That's going to be in the circle. And that's where you're going to get the daily channel where we give, inspirational tidbits. We have the empowerment talks. We have the Dharma Circle. We have what's becoming the AWP tracks one. That's where
The Dinacharya, the
Yep.
Ayurveda 108,
So that's
108
where
plus.
that's where those things are coming in. So those are the 2 directions that you can go with taking that Constitution quiz. But do that first, and then kind of decide, do I want one, the other, or do I want both? So yeah.
No, I appreciate you explaining that because I think some folks might have been a little bit confused that, well, am I working out or am I getting education? And you can have both. We just have two different platforms for it because there is not one platform that does all of it. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I think that, as an additional note with Circle, if you join the online community, not only do you get all of those things like the warrior chat and the daily channel and some of the other stuff, but you can join that for free. And once you join it for free, then you get our Woman Warrior Weekly, which is our weekly newsletter. And so then you'll get more information through that newsletter about what's going on, not only additionally in Circle, depending on the level that you would like to subscribe to, but also about all the personal training and the nutrition side as well. So yeah, it's good.
Great.
Yes. Very
Yep, wanted to
exciting.
throw that out there.
Awesome.
Wellness check-in.
Okay.
I'm very sore.
Are you?
Yes.
Let's talk about you.
very
But I
sore.
first want to show everybody these beautiful raspberries that came from your bush.
Yes.
Was this right in front of the house?
Yep.
Oh, I'm so excited to eat these. They're
this
such
is-
pretty color.
This is round 1.
Right.
They start really coming out in about another month.
Really?
Yeah, there's 2 rounds of them.
Oh,
This is
I'm
the early round.
excited.
I
Okay.
kind of have to dig a little bit more for them. Second round, they're just
popping out, falling.
out. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm just going to do a drive-by by your house and just get a big basket and take all of them.
And I have plums. They're starting to come out. I picked 4 of those yesterday. Got to get them before the squirrels do. And
Those bastards.
and then the peaches.
Oh,
Come on. They don't look like much right now. I'm like, are you guys growing? They're pretty close together, but yeah.
But they come out, was it September?
September.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they
they got
got
some time.
Yeah, they got time. But I'm glad that you brought this because today we are going to talk about intuitive eating vis-a-vis the Vijnanamaya Kosha, or our state of intuition, or koshic layer. And this is what real food looks like.
Yeah, this is in season. They are 2 days old. So
Look how beautiful.
the kind of food that you should be eating.
Yes.
And you should not be eating those in January
No.
because they're not very good.
And they're not seasonal.
They traveled far and wide
Absolutely.
to get to your house. So
So let's talk about you. How are we doing koshically? what's going
body
on?
is sore. Body's definitely sore.
Sure. Where are you feeling it the most?
My legs,
Legs.
my right leg in particular.
Okay.
Yeah, my knee's taken on, I think, some hip issues, and my knee has issues anyway, and ankle, and then my other ankle, I hit it on some sort of weight, and so it's still kind of swollen on the inside. So with the race coming up, it might be time to just take a couple days off.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. I think, we're talking about intuition today, and I think that going straight to my intuition, haven't really been listening to that very well lately because it's, summer and I have this new venture and now I have this time and it's my job to like work out. And it's like, it's also your job to listen to your body and know when it's sore and when it's time to maybe take a break. And I've been feeling kind of inflamed lately.
Okay. Well, it's pitta season.
Mm-hmm.
I
It
know.
is.
I'm inside most of the day.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm lighting on fire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's dry, like you were mentioning. It's always dry here. And so for being a Vata, it's just
It's hard.
another reason to move to Mexico.
Moving to Mexico.
Yeah.
SB Studios is coming with us.
Mhm.
So we're just moving to Mexico.
And mentally, emotionally, feeling pretty good, pretty solid with all the relationship stuff that's comes and goes, just flies right by these days.
It's like passing Vrittis. There we go. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. The
clouds.
fluctuation of the mind.
There it is, and there it goes. It's fine.
You know
all
what?
fine.
I have to say publicly though. Okay, I got to say this. So, dating apps are terrible.
Yeah.
They're
They're really bad.
terrible. Okay, so I've never been on a dating app before, as you know, because I predate dating
Thank you.
apps.
Lucky stars.
So it was Michael and I were together way before that became a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and but some of the stuff that you've showed me, like it's frightening.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's take this back into intuition. Let's
Yes.
intuitively look at not just you, but like everybody who's out there. If you are on a dating app because you're looking for love or
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for partnership, intuitively, judge accurately,
harshly,
whether or not you actually want to like meet this person, or if you do decide to meet them. Like we talked a lot about that this week, just in terms of your intuition, like regarding when you first meet somebody, what's the first impression, and all of that, versus like, let my analytical brain, hijack my intuition and then wind up in a situation.
I can make that work.
Right.
No.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And, and it's interesting. Like this has been a fascinating experiment just in Vijnana
That's
Kosha.
what I like to call it these days. It's an experiment. I'm a mad scientist.
It is. No, I mean, it really is, because I mean, it's rough. And, but, everybody's coming to the table with whatever or not. And, just being intuitive about, and I say that across the board with all relationships, like use your intuition. And a lot of people, they don't allow for that. And then they wind up getting into situations because they've overanalyzed it, or they're settling, or, well, this is the best option. Like this isn't a presidential election. It's not like, well, I'm going to vote for the least worst.
Yeah.
This is somebody that's like potentially going to be in your life. And if you start down that course and don't use your intuition, you can wind up in a really tough situation.
Yeah. And I would actually double down on that and say, before I put this in my Clever Fox, and in my brain said, well, I better get going on this because I said I was going to do it. And so that was my brain hijacking really my intuition.
Yeah.
Because every time I put information on a dating app before that, I erased it. Because as soon as I started seeing the people who were
the people of the
choosing
land
me as an option, I was like, oh God. And I would just erase everything out of it. And like, that was my intuition saying, no, this is a bad idea.
so bad.
And then my brain just kind of hijacked that and said, no, you should try it. And yeah, I'm coming back to that original intuition of like, just let the universe take over.
Agreed.
If it's,
yeah,
it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Agreed. Attract.
Yeah.
Yep. Let your Shakti attract. And everybody else should pay attention to that. Let your Shakti attract what's meant for you. Not trying to force something, not trying to make something happen, but rather just attracted by authentically being you.
Yeah. Enjoy yourself. Do the things that you want to do. And that's where you're going to attract the people that are interested in those things too.
Agreed. All right.
Now, does that mean I sit at my house all day? No.
Although sometimes we want to.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay inside.
And then that, that leads to the spiritual part too, is like we said before, you get your spiritual and looking at those samskaras and looking at the patterns that you've created in the past. And you start getting those right, and you start getting your spirituality in place and figuring that out. That's also a big attraction that you can bring in. So, yeah.
Put it first. Let it lead. I love that.
So those are mine.
Those are great. Did you talk energetically?
Oh, no. Energetically.
Yeah. Pranamaya.
I feel like, again, the energy is a bit, it's decent.
Okay.
It's, again, with the body being kind of tired.
Right.
It's a little, I need more sleep.
Yeah.
So that would help my energetic body.
The heat at this time of year, even though like it's great that the days are longer and all of it, the heat at this time of year can suck the life out of you. So just being mindful of that.
And our worlds are not, at least in America, we're not very conducive to paying attention to that. Like jobs you're working in the middle of the day, you get out at the heat of the day.
Totally.
Like, now you got to do stuff.
Right.
Like, ugh. No, you should probably be sleeping during the hottest parts of the day and then go out, later in the evening.
Right.
When you're
Hence
more
the
awake.
siesta.
Siesta, great.
Another reason to move to Mexico.
Yet another reason.
Oh. I like the siesta.
It's fabulous.
All about the siesta.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, creating a job where you can have a siesta. Like my old job, nope.
No siesta. Now, new job?
Yep.
Siesta.
You're getting out of work right when the siesta is, halfway through.
No, I'm all about the siesta and the weekends. Oh, it's so funny because the other day I took that siesta and you called me and I'm like, and I answered the phone. You're like, were you taking a nap? I'm
Like,
like,
you
yes,
just-
but I gotta get up.
I
gotta
just
get.
woke you
I
up.
was like, I gotta get up.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Now I am all about the nap. I think it's great.
How about you? Physical.
Good, really good.
Good.
I feel it's interesting.
You can carry me on your back in Salt Lake City.
I am not going to have to do that. But you are going to get past the first 3 obstacles because the least number of penalty laps or burpees that we have to do, the better.
I know.
Because that burpee is coming at the rope at the end. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, I touched the rope. I'm trying. Yeah, not going to happen. No, I actually, yesterday, I went to see Dr. Kelly Mix, who is at Stork Chiropractic. And as you know, she is a very non-traditional chiropractor that works more with the nervous system and the atlas bone, et cetera. And so it was really cool because it's something that I have wanted to do for a while. As you know, and maybe some listeners know, or those of you who've read my book, I had, a massive accident when I was younger, and that just, has implications on your body as you move forward in life. So your body compensates over time for the quote unquote, deficiencies it is that you have. So she did an analysis of like my posture alignment, et cetera. And she's like, one leg is, longer than the other. Like, shocker.
Yeah.
One hip is higher than the other.
Which is very common.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I'm like, well, where am I on the spectrum on this? Like, is this really bad or is this, like common misalignments? And she was so kind, she like, I was just like, girl, just give it to me straight. It's fine. I can take it. She's like, it's a little challenging. I'm just like, okay, so it's
On a
bad.
scale of 1 to 10.
Like, this is bad.
It's
she
an
said,
11.
right. But she said to me, she's like, it's amazing, what you have been able to do, based on these things, just talking about not only like shoulder and hip alignment, but also just the vertebrae, pulling some things forward, some things being pulled back. And it was fascinating because she gives you this kind of like measuring device, and then you step away from it, and there's literally like a measuring stick that shows you like how far off things are, et cetera. I was like, "Ooh, okay, that's fascinating." You don't see yourself when we lift or we're working out or doing yoga. I'm like, everything is in alignment, and it's like so not.
Yeah.
But I'm actually very excited. I was talking to my mom about this today. I'm actually very excited to go down this road of treatment with her, because I think over the long term, it's going to be things that are going to really help correct. And I'm going to be fascinated, and I'm going to keep everybody posted on this. As I'm going through the treatment modality, I'm going to be fascinated to see how that affects not just like the skeletal system, but also like the musculature and all other factors of the body in terms of like, comfort in sleeping, comfort in sitting, breathing, all of these things, because it's going to have implications. So in some ways, I want her to use me kind of as a guinea pig for getting some of this data, because it's I think it's just gonna be fascinating. So
Yeah.
So we'll see. So that was very exciting.
That's awesome.
I go back in a couple of weeks for my first treatment, because the first one is just the assessment, and then because we were doing the race, and next week is just crazy. I'm not going until the following week.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to all of the data. So I will keep you posted on how it goes. So that's on the physical, and then like just lifting like a beast and feel great. And actually got my stats done today, so I'm, down another 0.5% of body fat. I haven't quite broken the 18 mark yet. I'm trying to get to 17, but I'm close. Water is up, muscle's about the same, so I'm not losing anything, but rather I see gains. So that's been good.
Nice.
Yep. And getting more sleep as per your recommendation. I think you need to take that advice yourself now.
Yes, I do.
Yep. So, and that's really helped with energy. Like I told you last night, after we got off the phone, I literally had like my element drink, and I was like, kiddies, you got food in your bowl, you're on your own, and like went right to bed. I think I fell asleep about 6:45, maybe 7 o'clock, and was just out like a light, and cruised all the way until about 1:30 this morning. And then I woke up and I was like, no, this is too early, and then tried to go back to sleep. And for the most part, did. And then got up at 3 and, was just doing the thing. So, but I feel good.
Yeah.
And then let's see, mentally, emotionally, really good. Really, really good. Michael's away. So, as you know, he has moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to do a project with the Teach for America project. And so, no, we are not getting divorced. So many people have asked me that. They're like, is everything okay with you guys? I'm like, yeah. Like, why wouldn't it be? And they're like, well, you're not living together. I'm like, we've done this before. Like, we don't have kids. Like, he wants to do his thing and I want to do mine. And so it's been really actually quite nice. I like having the space, and I think he does too. And he's got his head down in a project. And then we, we talk every night, and we do it, on FaceTime. So he can see the kiddies and all that. And that's just been, it's been good. Like, I really wanted to dedicate the summer to like the work we're doing.
Yeah.
And so now I have the space to do that without feeling bad that like, oh, I should be spending more time with my husband and all of that. So I think the universe clears that.
Yeah.
And intuitively, like everything is lining up. It's constantly in shift and change, but I'm excited to do this intuition, section of our podcast this year or at this time, because I think that needs to be cultivated more. And so I've been doing more yoga nidra, more meditation, more pranayama, using more essential oils right now, which has been really quite beautiful. So, and then spiritually, like everything's good. I feel very much at peace.
Nice.
I feel very settled and just very joyful. I think spiritually, I'm being delivered a lot of joy right now. I just feel really happy about like what we're doing, and like I feel excited to get up in the morning. And I mean, like I'm tired. We're working our tails off, but everything is falling into place, and I truly believe the divine has got my back.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's good stuff.
it is good stuff.
All right.
All right, let's do this thing.
Intuitive eating.
Intuitive eating. Okay.
So what you eat can affect your intuition.
Oh, God. All right. So I want to start out I wrote down 3 simple rules
Okay.
that I think really apply to how eating affects your intuition. Okay. And I think you can relate to a lot of this. So the first simple rule is food is medicine. Okay. And actually, when I was in med school, that the quote from Hippocrates would always come up. Let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food.
Yep.
And I think that is one simple rule. And that means all natural food is medicine, and processed food is poison.
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, in Ayurveda, there is this concept known as karana, which means processing. And I want to read this piece about karana and the idea of processing and processed food. And it gives a very broad spectrum on this. And it says that karana refers to the preparation of the food products and the effect processing has on a food's attributes. So when food is cooked, which we always subscribe to cooked food in Ayurveda, the food takes in the fire element and takes on some characteristics of fire separate from the attributes inherent in the food. And one of those attributes is that when it's cooked, and the reason why we stress cooked food is that it becomes pre-digestible. So food becomes a lot easier to digest when we do cook food. And an example given in the Charak Samhita, which is one of the most ancient Ayurvedic texts out there about Ayurveda and the medicine. The Charak Samhita states that rice becomes lighter when it's cooked. So that has a gentler effect on the digestive system, as an example. This principle of processing affects the qualities inherent within food it needs to be considered with regard to modern practices such as canning, freezing, cooking in microwave ovens, and processing techniques that remove nutrients, such as processing whole grain rice and wheat into white rice and wheat. So, there's two sides to the processing spectrum. There is, like, technically when you cook food, you are processing it, but it gives the element of fire that will then allow for food to be much easier to digest versus frying, microwave ovens, freezing, et cetera, which actually turns food into poison. So simple rule number one is food is medicine. All natural food is medicine. All processed food is poison. And we have to start looking at it from that perspective again. I think what happens is that we have looked at food not as medicine or not as fuel, but as pleasure. And then it becomes something. Go ahead. You're laughing. Tell me.
I watched a documentary once. I believe it was titled "The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse." I believe, and I will never forget the section that talked about when a society has become so decrepit and decadent, and is close to falling. There are certain things that you will see in society, and one of them is an obsession with food. When people have so much time on their hands to take pictures of their food
And
what
post
they're
it.
eating and talk about how good their food was, and like that is a sign of degradation of society
And slothfulness.
Yes. And the other one was an obsession with sex. So I'm like, ding, ding.
Food and sex.
1 and 2. Got him.
1-2 punch.
Yeah. So, you saying that makes a lot of sense.
No, I appreciate you bringing that up. I remember you recommending that, and I saw that. That was like a Netflix documentary or something, right?
Boy, I don't remember.
Maybe-
I was
maybe
really
Prime.
in the rabbit hole
Yeah.
of documentaries at the time. So,
It was like one of like 500 that you recommended.
yeah.
No, but true, but very true. So we have to start looking at food from a fuel and medicinal perspective rather than pleasure.
You're eating to live, not living to eat.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When it brings pleasure, it becomes a decadent. I mean, and not that you shouldn't enjoy your food. Of course you should. But if that is the way that you reward or punish yourself through food, then you're not using it for medicinal purposes. When we use it for medicinal purposes, it brings, quote, pleasure to the tissues of the body, the nourishing of what we call the datus, or the 7 layers of tissue in the body, which ties into one of my other simple rules. But we'll leave it at that. So simple rule number 1, food is medicine. Okay. Simple rule number 2, natural food that comes from the earth sharpens your intuition. Processed food does not. It clouds your intuition. So that's what the modern medical establishment wants. So why is it that 75 to 85% of a grocery store are aisles and aisles of processed food?
Yeah.
So it is to cloud your intuition. And this is the thing that I think is underrated. Our intuition is actually the most valuable part of our human experience. If we are leading our lives according to our intuitive nature, everything works itself out. It's when we allow the ego mind to hijack our intuition or to justify that our intuition is wrong. It's when that happens that things go sideways. So we really need to cultivate our intuition. And part of cultivating our intuition is not just meditation, not just pranayama breathing practices, not just yoga, not just lifting weights, not just, fitness, et cetera. But part of it is choosing natural foods that come from the earth so that we can be free of the clouds. And when we are free from the clouds, part of the reason why people have brain fog is because of processed food and they're taking too many medications. And the irony is that the two of those things often go together. It's, well, I have, diabetes, or I have brain fog or something along those lines, and I'm taking a medication to help that situation. and I'm not saying that this is with everybody, but I'm taking medications that are only contributing to that continuous brain fog, and also eating processed food that does that as well.
Yes. And people need to also wake up and understand that the system is set up to make it very challenging for you to make good decisions. I'm thinking about in a grocery store how I used to hear go around the outside of the grocery store, that's where the real food is.
Yep.
But lo and behold, now grocery stores are intermingling
Yes.
the, natural foods that are, organic or something like that. You can't necessarily get raw milk at a grocery store, so you got to get, some sort of organic. But now they're like mingling in, so like we got to draw you into the center of the store. You can't just mingle on the outside, like you bastards.
And it's a friggin' marketing scheme. Like
It
right
is.
here, the Fred Meyer, our favorite Fred Meyer, out of all the Fred Meyers in Boise, they had that awesome natural
food
section. Like I knew where to get everything. And now
Kroger.
they took down all of the shelves, made them these long aisles that are ugly as hell. I don't even go to the store anymore.
Yeah.
I literally go there for bird food and cleaning products. That's it. Or that one kombucha that we both like.
Yes.
But
Zero sugar.
But the aisles are these like dark, long aisles that the shelves are like from floor to ceiling, like you can't even reach the top shelf, and it's all intermingled crap.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
Again, the system makes it very hard, so you have to be very diligent and, just like anything else, diligent about your fitness, diligent about your health. They don't make it easy on you.
No.
And I don't think it's meant to be.
No.
So kind of like the post that I posted yesterday about can you endure? Like you've got to find a way to endure.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, and I appreciate that statement because I think of, the average person who's working a 9 to 5 and is overworked, underpaid, underslept, has children at home, and they're like, I just got to run to the store and grab something, quote unquote, quick. And they don't have the brain space to intuitively say, oh, let me be drawn to the outside of all of the aisles in the store. They're just like, I got to just grab what's in front of me. And the system is playing on people's fatigue. So, and that's why.
On multiple levels.
Multiple.
There's a reason why they're fatigued. They're in that job.
Yes.
Which they get trained at school for, to be in that job from 9 to 5.
Yep. We're training factory workers. But again, simple rule number 2, natural foods that come from the earth sharpen your intuition. Processed food does not. It clouds your intuition. So thinking about that when we're making choices. And actually, I think what's so great about this discussion is food is the like level 1. If we can master food and just eat natural food and not processed, we can get the medicine, get away from the poison. And I understand that food also is very different now in terms of its nutritive value. But like it's the best possible thing for us to do. And in Ayurveda, food is always the top thing that we look at in terms of helping to correct imbalances. So
you go a step further and you support your local farmers that, regenerative practices and fix our soil. And like, that's the next level. That's
absolutely.
Again, it's all about what you want. Do you want to be cloudy and you want to just have the quick fix, or do you want to fix the system? And that's,
And how you spend your money is casting a vote.
It is.
Agreed. And then finally, simple rule number 3 that I came up with is nourish the datus with natural food and you will be healthy. And for those of you that are not familiar with the datus, the datus are the 7 layers of tissue in the body. So, and I'll go into detail about that in a couple minutes, but simple rule number 1, food is medicine. Simple rule number 2, natural food that comes from the earth sharpens your intuition, processed food clouds your intuition. And simple rule number 3, nourish the datus, or the tissues of the body, with natural food and you will be healthy. It's actually pretty simple. So that being said, loaded.
Yeah.
Let's talk about rule number 3 here for a second. And I think it's important that we discuss the layers of tissue of the body, because the layers of tissue in your body are the physical and subtle manifestation of your health. So we can cultivate, we always talk about, how do I cultivate intuition? How do I cultivate intuition? Again, we do have to start with the physical, and then the subtle will come as a result. So as we nourish the layers of tissue of the body, things become healthy, and the subtle body gets activated in a positive way. So let's talk about this for a second. So the 7 layers of tissue: rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, ashti, maja, and shukra. I know that doesn't mean anything to most people out there in the world with the Sanskrit terms, but we're going to walk through it. Do you have any questions before I get rolling on this? Okay. Any thoughts?
Nope.
Okay. So rasa. Rasa is our blood plasma. Okay. And actually, the word rasa in Sanskrit means sap or juice. It's also our vitality. And it's related to all of the fluids in the body, and is often considered our blood plasma, and very directly related to hydration of the body. What's fascinating about this very first layer of ourselves is that if you are dehydrated, and this is why we always push water, if you are dehydrated, the other layers of tissue in your body are going to break down, because we are 70+% water. If we don't maintain those water levels, then the rest of your body your blood is going to break down, muscle, fat, bone, et cetera, et cetera. And you can see that because as people get older, they get drier. And a lot of that has to do with, they say, as we reach for the water bottle to drink some water, the people get drier as they get older because they stop drinking. And it's also they're entering the vata time of life, and so you have that compounded, et cetera. But what's interesting is that when we nourish our blood plasma through effective hydration, on the subtle body level, rasa, this level of tissue, provides us with what we call satisfaction. So on the subtle body level, we are experiencing satisfaction. So when you're hydrated, you feel satisfied in life. When you are dehydrated, you are dissatisfied. And you're kind of like, meh, like, okay, whatever with life. So as you are looking at cultivating your intuition, are you meh about life, or do you feel very satisfied with life? And that will absolutely help you to cultivate your intuition in a positive way. Thoughts on that?
I just think about when you are dehydrated, you usually tend to then go to food. We always talk about how a lot of the times when you feel like you are hungry, you're actually thirsty.
Correct.
And you should go for the water first. Yeah, that makes sense.
Drink the water, wait 20 minutes, and then see where things are at. So, and think about what a person who's dehydrated feels like. They don't feel satisfied. They feel, they feel weak. They feel tired. They don't have vigor. They don't have virya, if you would. So, second layer of tissue is what is known as rakta, which is our blood or our red blood cells. And the function of rakta is actually to invigorate all of the tissues by bringing oxygen. So if you think about how blood travels through the body, it transports oxygen and carries them by the hemoglobin that is within the red blood cells. So on the subtle body level, because we have this transportation of oxygen, that on the subtle body level, it is linked to being invigorated or not. So if we are dehydrated on the rasa side, we either experience dissatisfaction or satisfaction. On the rakta side, and all of these tissues line up. So if there's dehydration, it's going to affect our level of invigoration in our blood. And everything kind of has this, this domino effect, so to speak. So when our blood cells are nourished by proper hydration and proper oxygen, then we feel vital. And when we are not experiencing hydration and invigoration, we lack motivation. So if you think about blood, like when you get blood pumping, how much better you feel. That's why, if you are feeling sluggish, like go to the gym or go for a walk or go for a swim or do something like
take some
move
deep
your
breaths.
body, right? Take some deep breaths, get oxygen circulating, et cetera, get the blood pumping, and you're going to feel more invigorated and motivated as a result. Then MAMSA, which is our layer of muscle. So we go from blood plasma to blood to now muscle. And MAMSA is our muscle layer, and its purpose is to protect and give strength to the body. And on the subtle body level, it is linked to courage, fortitude, and self-confidence. So when it's nourished, when we feel like our muscles are in good stead and that they are protecting the body, et cetera, we feel confident and we feel big and like happy and joyful. And when it's not protected, when that dehydration happens, when there's lack of oxygen, when there's lack of vigor and strength that's happening in the muscles, we actually feel fear, cowardice, and low self-esteem. And this is why building muscle is the fountain of youth. What do you think?
Jacked and tan. I mean, way more confident. Like even just in the conversations with the weekly bypassers in my life.
The Vritties. That's what we're going to call them now from now
Vritties.
on. The Vritties.
Just, I found myself even with just this last individual, and again,
they're not bad people.
They're not bad people.
No.
These are not bad people.
They're just not your people.
Yeah. I just remember just talking about just how confident I felt. And even in our conversations via text, talking about things that were happening in my life, I'm like, I just wish this person was more confident. And just seeing the world differently when you have structure and muscle, and it just does give you so much more confidence.
Agreed.
And how you walk in this world. I mean,
how you present.
Last night I felt like Moses parting the Red Sea. I was walking down the sidewalk and these people got out of their car and they saw me and they're like, ooh. Move to the side. And I'm like, yep, look out. Oh, I'm coming down the street.
Happens on a regular basis.
Yeah. So it was,
Well, it was like that time when we were in the
They
gym.
just kind of cowered and I was like, just walking by. Like they didn't have to move.
No. And it's not like you're being mean or anything. It just... It's true. Well, it was like the time we were in the gym and we were lifting weights and the gals were in the corner. They came over and what did she say?
She's like, you two are the most intimidating in the best way possible. We're like, that's what we're going for.
I thank you. Back at you, boo. No, but like think about
Stop
that.
hogging the dumbbells.
Exactly. Literally, they had like 50 sets of dumbbells there. I was like, can you leave some for us?
And they're just chatting away. Like, are you going to use those?
Exactly. What are you doing here?
Talk about them.
Now give us the dumbbells. That was funny. But think about the people that, that we see out in the world. And maybe this person is you when you don't, not you, but like out there for our listeners, when you notice people's posture.
That used to be me.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. It was me too. And people's posture will show you their level of confidence. And that usually their posture is kind of hunched over and there is muscle shrinking or depletion or lack thereof or no muscle at all. And it represents in their confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's both men and women, because I've seen it both. So, all right. So, rasa, rakta, mamsa, blood plasma, blood, muscle. Now we are at the fatty tissue known as meda or adipose tissue. And the purpose is to lubricate the tissues of the body. So, rasa hydrates, meda lubricates. So, two different things. And it provides what we call oleation, or that kind of oily, slick feeling so that things articulate well. What? What are you laughing
I wish
at?
I had more of that in my life.
I need some oleation right now.
I need
too.
some more meta
Like dry.
in my body.
In the winter around here, because it's high desert, I'm like, can I just fill my bathtub with as much oil as possible and just lay in it? So I understand. On the subtle body level, Meta provides the ability to love or to be loved, which I think is really interesting. So again, going back to how food affects our intuition, if we are not using food as medicine, if we are not using natural food to sharpen our intuition and more processed food that is dulling or clouding our intuition, and if we are not nourishing the tissues of the body with food, then all of these things happen. Like we might feel that we cannot form good quality relationships, and that gets represented in our fat tissue. We can't have high quality attachments, but or we don't feel like we are lovable. So many women I've spoken to are like, well, who would want to love me, or I'm not lovable, or something along those lines, and or it can be completely the opposite, where it becomes codependency.
Yeah.
So again, choosing food wisely, in order to nourish the tissues of the body, and it's kind of this constant back and forth effect. We choose proper foods to help nourish the tissues, and then the tissues, through balance and being strongly cultivated, bounces back our intuition and allows our intuition to grow. So the two work in tandem. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
The whole not being lovable. Yeah. That's huge for a lot of people. And the codependency. So if you're eating the proper foods, have the proper diet, you're either okay independently
Yes.
on your own, or you are forming healthy relationships. And there's so many people walking around who don't do that.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because if we look at these relationships and look at the food that they eat as a couple, is it highly processed? So if it's highly processed or fast food or whatever, what kind of relationship do they have? And, what kind of relationship does the couple have? And a lot of times you will see that there's some toxicity in there, or ama, and that both of them are brain fogged.
Yeah.
Well,
and isn't it interesting when one person decides to change and get healthier, that the other person has some serious issue with that? I mean, it can go both ways. One person can either be super supportive. I know when Joe was sick and he was eating a very specific diet, I was like, you know what? I'm going to support you in this, no matter how terrible it was. Right. It was rough. It was no salt, no spice, no nothing. Bland. I was like, nope, here we go.
I'm jumping in.
Yeah, just to support him. And
then we looked at that picture of you afterwards, which intuitively was, ooh. No, I mean, that picture.
I look like I've been eating no salt, no spice, no oil. Yeah.
That picture was rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for the record, Prajna showed me a picture of what she looked like prior to she and I meeting and being on the Ayurvedic path. And
it was probably a couple weeks after Joe had passed.
Yeah. I mean, which of course it would be rough. I mean, you went through a rough period with that.
Yeah.
But it was like, ooh, God, like when you showed it to me, I was like, oh, and like I couldn't believe I said that out loud. I felt so bad. I was like, oh God. I was like, oh my God.
I look at it now and I'm like, oh God. And I don't delete it on purpose because I'm like, no, I want to remember what I look like.
And how far you've come, which is amazing. So, but you wonder, going back to, the processed food and, couples, and do they feel loved or lovable? Can they give love? Can they receive love? Is there codependency, et cetera? That's literally felt in the fat tissue because there is the intuition around the type of food that they're eating has not been processed, for lack of a better word, well. They're not looking at it from that perspective. So, Which leads us to the ashti layer of the dhatus, which are the bones.
The bones.
The bones. And the bones provide a framework or structure for our bodies, obviously. And on the subtle level, it denotes confidence and our ability to stand tall in the world. When we have strong bones, we feel okay with being big, with being accountable, being accounted for, showing I am making my mark, I am here, I am present. And if we don't nourish, then we don't feel accountable. We often hide. And we can also fold under pressure. So bones are important, very important. And we see that as people get older, if they've eaten a lot of processed food, if they haven't hydrated, if they are not eating foods that they know are better for them intuitively, they know better. Because look, at the end of the day, we all know. We know what to do. But we allow the brain to analyze and hijack versus, okay, you know what, I actually do know what to do in this situation. I should choose this over that. When we don't do those things, we see over time, and it manifests itself, especially in women later on, with osteoporosis.
It's like those pictures I showed you,
Right.
of a woman who drinks a lot of water, and then a woman who smokes.
Oh my God, that blew me
that was
away.
impressive. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some of that was.
I mean, it's all AI,
Yeah,
but like
AI,
that
but it
was, but like those were accurate. Because I remember, like, as I was looking at those photos, and so for those of you that are not part of our private conversation here, Prajna sent me, was that on Facebook or Instagram? I forgot.
I think it was Instagram.
Okay. But why don't you explain what it was?
So it was what seemed to be the same woman, and again, it was AI generated, I'm sure, but it gave the visual of a woman. And actually, when I first saw it, I could only see it like from the belly button down. So I was like, "Is there a difference?" Like I don't see the difference. But then when I scrolled up, I was like, "Oh, okay." So it was the same woman, and it just gave, I think, 5 scenarios. First one was well hydrated. Didn't exercise, but just well hydrated and ate well. And she looked like a healthy middle. And it was a woman after 40, I believe.
Yeah. Perimenopausal.
Yeah. Second woman was a smoker, drinker, and just looked so much more aged, mainly in the face.
And inflamed.
Yeah. Third one was high cortisol.
Yes.
Like looked scared out of their mind. High cortisol.
Hair was very, there was a lot of breakage.
Scraggly, breakage. But yeah, just big gray circles under the eyes.
Yep.
So yeah, that was high cortisol, stressed out.
Yep.
I think it was also didn't eat great.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one was the big one. That one was ate terrible foods, didn't exercise, and just had acne, and just face was all rosaceaed out and just red. And then the last one was eats well, exercises, and just had the toned arms and just looked the best. And it was just
clear.
It really was an impressive example of this is what your life could look like if you go down each of these roads.
Based on
eventually.
choices.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I thought it was impressive.
It was very interesting. That brings us to our second to last layer, Maja, which is our nervous system, or bone marrow, and the brain. Eat your avocados. Brain health and nervous system balance. So Maja has everything to do with our nervous system. And if it's constantly taxed, if we don't eat the right foods and don't pay attention to our intuition, then on the subtle level, we can either feel a sense of feeling full and complete in the world, or we feel like we are not enough, that things are not complete and whole. And when we do feel complete and whole, there's also this sense of calm, like everything's okay, everything's working out in our favor. But if we don't feel complete or whole, then we have where we feel very deficient, and there's constant nervousness and anxiety, and and stress, maybe even grief, etc. And I mean, I even see that with like my mom right now. Like she's really going through that process, and that is because intuitively she's not cultivating her intuition because the food that she's eating or the lack thereof is not nourishing her nervous system and her brain, and so then therefore it becomes this double-edged sword. I'm not eating because I experience grief, but that's also enhancing the grief and the nervousness and the anxiety, etc. So every day, she's like, "What should I do?" And I'm just like, "You need to eat, you need to hydrate, you need to rest. That's what you need to do, and you need to talk to your therapist." So there's that. Thoughts?
Oh, I'm just thinking of a couple other people in our lives that are going through that same situation.
Yeah. And then finally, Shukra Dhatu, the final layer of tissue, which is our hormone and our reproductive elements. So sperm for men, ovum for women, but just our whole hormone balance kind of panel across the board. And on the subtle body level, it's our ability to have creativity. And it allows us to either sustain our creativity or not. And so if, and I was thinking about this vis-a-vis Andy Frisella when he talks about like, if you don't have a project or something that you're working towards, then you lose your creativity, you lose your luster for life, et cetera. And this plays a role in it. So if we want to sustain our creativity, we want to sustain our hormone balance, we have to eat and have practices that nourish intuitively our body constitutions. So, yeah. So again, going back to those 3 simple rules, we have food is medicine, natural foods that come from the earth sharpen your intuition, processed food clouds it, and nourish the tissues of the body with natural food in order to be healthy. And there are ways to cultivate this intuition as it relates to eating intuitively. So any other thoughts? I feel like I'm like rambling here.
No.
So.
I mean, I would say that, what are some of the tips of eating intuitively?
Absolutely.
I mean, our Dinacharya, I think, does a good job of some of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In Ayurveda, I mean, there's a couple of different things. The first thing is that we always want to incorporate the various tastes of food into our diet. And so there are 6 major tastes. There is sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent. And without going into major detail, because this is not a podcast about the tastes, but including those tastes is part of having a balanced diet. And each of those tastes have different effects on our body that also allows us to cultivate our intuition more. So I'll just leave that where it is. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole today because it's a very long rabbit hole. So, but the taste very minorly, just to give a snapshot, they have an effect on our constitution types. So as an example, with Vata constitution, the tastes that aggravate or cause us to derail our intuition are pungent, bitter, and astringent. So spicy, bitter, and drying, I wonder why, are things that will aggravate your constitution. So when you are looking for foods that you want to eat or spices that you want to use, et cetera, staying away from pungent, bitter, and astringent when you feel out of balance. Not all the time, but when you feel out of balance. And the ones that pacify Vata are sweet, sour, and salty. So those give you that very grounding effect, gives you the sweetness of life, gives you joy and happiness and a little bit of heat as well. From a Pitta constitution standpoint, when we're looking at intuitive eating, being drawn towards tastes that will help pacify or soothe Pitta are sweet, bitter, and astringent. Because we tend to have the fire element and there's more heat. So we want to look at spices and foods that kind of cool that down. We want to stay away from pungent, sour, and salty. Those are things that just elevate that heat a lot. So if we're out of balance, Those are tastes that we want to move away from. And then from a kapha constitution standpoint, the tastes that aggravate kapha are sweet, sour, and salty. Sweet because it can provide a little extra heaviness for kaphas that already have heavy, and sour and salty can cause temperature irritations. Kapha tends to be warm but moist, and so that can aggravate those situations. And then the tastes that will pacify or keep kapha in balance are pungent, a little spice to add a little bit of heat, bitter, and astringent, because they tend to be on the wet side of life, damp. So, so just that brief snapshot. And this is the thing, when we are actually taking time to pause and think about, okay, what does my body need? You will be drawn to the things that your body naturally does. Like when you're feeling dry and cold in the winter, what are you drawn towards?
Warm soups.
So nice.
And not super salty.
Yep.
And not super spicy. Yep.
Very grounding. Like stew or kitchery. So nice.
Yeah.
Like in the summer, I just want everything that's cool. I don't like
Handful of chocolate chips from the freezer. It's sweet, but
it's kind of nice though.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like cold dark chocolate from the fridge, especially like high amounts of cacao, because it's got a little bit more bitter in it, and so the sweet and the bitter really kind of cool that thing down. So when we think about that, we can actually sit with, okay, what is it that my body needs, rather than always being in a rush and I've just got to grab something to stuff in my face, moving away from shovel and guzzle culture and actually saying, okay, and food is probably one of the best ways that we can cultivate our intuition, because if we start to do that just from food standpoint, it has a reverberating effect in all different things. So, and then there are different patterns of things that we can do that will allow us. There's kind of a process or a food sadhana, a food practice that will help us do that. So let's see. We have guidelines.
Okay.
First guideline: food should be taken in proper place. Okay. So location of a meal is super important. Choose the space that you are going to eat that is a nice, calming environment. Cultivate your intuition. When you sit and eat in a calm environment versus a noisy, crazy restaurant, things work out a lot better. Second thing is eat food that is made with loving hands. You gave me this with loving hands. It's so nice. And that has such a warm effect on somebody. I love when people, I actually had a client who gave me a pesto that she made, and God, it was good. So nice.
Pesto.
Yeah. Say grace before meals. Why should we say grace before meals? Why do you think it's important? Or gratitude. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't have to be
you're
prayer.
giving it a certain vibration, I think, that before you eat it, a certain energy or an energetic field, you're giving it before you actually eat it, and that's going to benefit your body.
Agreed.
I mean, they talk about how animals should be killed. I mean, it says that in, I believe, the Talmud or the Torah, that animals should be slaughtered in a certain way that's fast and not painful. And you think about how they're killed today, that energetic transfer.
Or treated.
So there's they're finding a lot of connection to that and how we feel when we eat that kind of food. So yeah, being grateful.
Yep. Food should be eaten without distraction. Stop eating in front of your television, in front of your phone, and I understand, people like to have dinner and a movie and all of that, but really having some time without distraction. One of the things that I noticed while Michael is away is that I just eat in silence.
Yeah.
I'm not eating and watching, because, that would be our thing, at night. we'd watch a program sometimes before the meal or excuse me, sometimes after the meal, et cetera. But I always felt like it was kind of connected. So, and food should be taken with a proper frame of mind. Like, don't eat when you're anxious or super emotional, because actually when you get into those spaces, your digestive system shuts down. And if you're trying to force food while your digestive system is being shut down because it's dealing with the anxiety or the stress, et cetera, you're going to have problems. So, food should be chewed until it is an even consistency. We were talking about this beforehand. You recently gave that recommendation.
I did.
And
Yeah. Just had a client that was like, "Are you gassy?" I'm gassy all the time. And I was just like, "Yeah, I've been there and still am usually." And I just mentioned, how fast are you eating your food? And they're like, "Oh gosh." And they're like, kind of like a baby after you have to burp them after they eat. And I'm like, yeah, if you're eating your food super fast and not chewing it, it's going to slow down the digestion. You're taking in a lot of air when you're eating. So close the mouth and chew.
if you put your upper lip and connect it to your bottom lip, that was another great Instagram post. The next one is food should be warm. Why should food be warm?
It's getting that digestion started.
Pre-digested.
Yep. Getting the fire stoked.
Raw food is not good. Not good. I mean, in the summertime, it can be okay because it's heated outside.
Barely for Vata.
Vatas, no. And you guys are the ones who like, let me have carrot sticks and celery sticks. Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Food should be taken that is oily and moist. Again, it kind of goes back to that pre-digestion that allows things to be a little bit heavier and move down the track a lot faster. Gives that kind of slippery, oleated feel to it. Food should not have opposite potencies. So we don't want things that are conflicting, foods that can be both purifying nor tonifying. We don't want hot and cold food at the same time, et cetera. And there's a whole litany of stuff in Ayurveda about food combining and being mindful of that, because the American diet does not adhere at all to proper food combining, and that's why people have everything from digestive distress to acid reflux to constipation, et cetera. A lot of it has to do with how they are eating with opposite potencies, so you want to be careful with that. Only a small amount of liquid should be taken with meals. Thoughts on that?
Every time you sit down, you're given this really ice cold glass of water at a restaurant, and then you drink it before the meal, and then you put something hot in your mouth, and you take the water while it's not good.
No, puts out your fire, your digestive fire, and it's just like unleashing a fire hose into your gut. So if you are going to drink, you only have like half a cup of water before and after the meal. But if you're chewing your food consistently, then it will liquefy and make it a lot easier to digest. And to that, with the small amount of liquid, is you shouldn't have cold drinks. We talk about this all the time. Cold drinks put out the digestive fire. Ice water. Ugh. That's only like an American thing. I've traveled all over the world, and nobody puts ice in their glass except in the States. It's crazy. Food should be taken with self-confidence. And what that means is, I'm going to read this, according to the Charak Samhita, one should take in food with due regard for his own self, which I think is great, because that goes to the heart of cultivating your intuition. The knowledge of the usefulness or otherwise of the food articles is the sine qua non for self-preservation. So it's cultivating that intuition. Like, should I eat 50% off sushi? Probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Half off food, never. Eat until you're 75% full. Take some time to rest before meals. So after we eat, taking 15 minutes to either lay down on your left side or go for a walk. The Mind Pump guys talk about this all the time.
Yep.
About taking that 15-minute walk afterwards will help deal with any kind of sugar spiking and all of that, really help in digestion. And then finally, allowing 3 hours between meals for food to digest, at least. Just depends on your constitution. Kappas, it might be a little bit longer because they have a slower process with digestion. Pittas are pretty fast, and Vatas are pretty fast too. So just allowing for that time in between. These steps will allow you to start to intuitively eat. Thoughts on this? Anything I missed?
One at a time. I mean, don't think you have to implement all of these. Try one on and see how that feels, and then try the next one and see how that feels. I mean, it's very daunting when you look at the whole list and you're like, oh God, I got to chew my food and sit down and be quiet. And that just do one thing at a time.
It's true. It's true. Oh my God. I gotta be quiet.
Don't bother me. I'm eating. I got to chew. I got to count. Hold on. Yeah. I mean, it can be very daunting, and you just take one at a time.
Oh my God, I have to be quiet.
Well, I don't have that problem usually.
True. Very true. So yeah, that's what we got. So
All right.
if we want to eat intuitively, take these steps, go back to those rules, food is medicine, processed food is not, all of those things that we said at the beginning, and your body will speak. It will tell you what it is that it needs. We just have to pay attention.
Yeah.
And if we do that, that is better than any, quote, diet out there. Everybody's like, oh, keto, oh, Atkins, oh, whatever, fill in the blank. And the reality is that if we just cultivate our intuition and say, okay, what is it that this vehicle needs right now? It will tell us. And find out what your body constitution is.
Yeah.
All right, girl, what do you got?
Try this, not that. This comes
this, not
from a video that you made over the weekend for the 4th of July. And so I want to talk holidays, people. So the intuition that we just talked about with intuitive eating, isn't it amazing that the intuition tends to go right out the window when it's a holiday? It's almost like we forget that intuition is even there, and we just go for shit and just eat whatever the hell we want. And we are okay with it. So holidays have kind of been a free-for-all. 4th of July, hot dogs and hamburgers, potato chips, beer. I know.
I'm sorry. The idea of hot dogs and hamburgers just...
Christmas, we got the, whatever. It's whoever and Christmas is like a month long with food. People bring in stuff for, work. They're bringing in their favorite dish and you're eating it. And then, somebody else you got these holiday parties. And so the problem is it's not just one day, especially with Christmas. I would say Thanksgiving as well, but especially with Christmas. So the try this, not that is thinking about the holiday as, hey, you don't really get any freebies. Like, imagine if you spent your holiday the way you spent every other day and how much better your life would probably move forward. Because like Satyavani was saying, July 4th was this last Friday. Christmas is going to be here in 6 hours, as she mentioned. So you have to start creating good habits, because if you go on Google, there's a holiday every day on Google. It's, I don't know, Pamper Your Pet Day. There's always a reason to have a holiday, and there's always a reason for you to do something that you're not supposed to be doing. So intuition eating shouldn't get breaks. Like, you should always be thinking about intuitively eating, and try to intuitively eat even on those days where normally you'd be like, screw it, I'm just doing whatever everybody else is doing, and I'm going to eat what I want, do what I want. Like, that's how we get in the situation that we're in for a lot of us. That's why, the average American now has more fat than the average pig. So there it is. That is a stat that is going around there on Facebook and on Instagram.
Can you say that again?
The average American today has more fat on it, on average, than a pig. I think a pig was around 25 20 to 25%. The average American now has more than that.
That's true.
I mean, females more than males. Yeah, that's how we've gotten in this situation, is taking those days off and being like, oh, well, it's a holiday, so I'm just going to do that. No, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You want this longevity in your life. Like we've talked about, you don't want that last decade of decline. You have to make better decisions every day, not just on the days that you feel like it. So,
Preach, girl. I love it.
that's my try this, not that.
Why don't you, since I like this, do the truth bomb.
Okay.
Do the bomb, girl. Let's bomb it out.
So, truth bomb for today. Your energy has to match your intentions. You can't manifest elevation while entertaining distractions. Align your focus, protect your peace, and move like the person you're becoming. The vision won't work without the work. Yeah. And that ties in perfectly with everything we've talked about today.
I love it. Align your focus, protect your peace, and move like the person you're becoming. And this is why you don't get days off. And that's not to sound cynical or like whip cracking. You don't get days off. Get your shit together. Get your shit together. Cultivate your intuition by your lifestyle.
Yeah.
People are saying, how do I do it? How do I do it? Get a better lifestyle. It's not difficult. You know what to do.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right. That's a wrap.
Yes.
I love it. Any final thoughts?
Subscribe to our YouTube
Yes,
channel.
subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get to 200 subscribers, friends. We love you, and we want to keep doing this. And
thank you to everyone who makes this happen. We've got SB Studios. We've got the Fit Body Boot Camp crew.
yes,
We've just got so many people that we are very grateful to have in our lives making this all happen. So,
and all of our clients, the clients that support us, the students that are in the circle, that circle is expanding to different parts of the world now, which has just been amazing to watch. So thank you so much, everybody. And eat real food. Okay. Cultivate your intuition by eating one raspberry at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today, friends. And as always, Jai Bhagwan, may your soul be victorious.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.